Tokariki Lad down the outside, the bump of the leader. Here comes Red Chasing Tokariki Lad. Red Chasing Tokariki Lad. They hit the line.
This week's edition of Final Gallop, it is episode 223 and is proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. This week we're going to take a look at our 8 runners on Saturday's Eagle Farm meeting, and then also Baller, first up in the Group 1 Black Caviar Lightning at Flemington. Morning Tony, an exciting time for the stable with these good races down south as we build towards the Autumn Carnival.
Yeah, good morning Claire, good morning everyone. Yeah, it is an exciting time. We had Vega 1 down there in Sydney last week and he didn't disgrace himself, but things start to amp up a bit more for us now with Baller and Zoo Style flying to Melbourne Tuesday night after their trials here on Tuesday. Yep. And skirt the law hedge down to Sydney next week. So it's all starting to heat up here, yes. But as usual we've got big teams of horses racing here in Brisbane as well every Saturday.
Okay. We also continued our good run at home last Saturday with impressive wins by Ashgrove and Tillianum, both at Doomben.
Yeah, it was good to see Ashgrove and Tillianum both win last week. I thought Ashgrove was really impressive. He won at Eagle Farm midweek, then we set him for the wave and he just got beat. Then we tried to fire a protest in and win the next start, and then he just got an absolute 11 out of 10 from Jimmy Orman last week. And Tillianum, she won with us the very first start we had. She's been busting to win a race, this prep racing so consistent, and she never looked him down on Saturday. No. Ange gave her a beautiful ride, she's comfortable on speed, and she sort of never had a troublesome moment when you're watching that race. So 2 really good performances back at Doomben on Saturday.
We also had a successful time with John Foot at the English Classic Sale early in the week. We got 5 quality yearlings.
Yeah, we did. The Classic Sales is a funny one. Footy has to do an awful lot of work there to sort through for what we would call the haves and have-nots. Yep. And then it's a long few days bidding, trying to pick out, give price points for most horses. But I do think we bought really well for value. I thought we bought at the right prices. We bought some lovely yearlings, all slightly different, but all very sharp horses that we hope can get back to the races, certainly at 2 and 3. So there's some really nice horses there. If you want any more information on them, get on to Claire at sales at Gollan Racing and get all the answers that you need.
Yeah, as you mentioned, there are still some opportunities in a couple of them, mainly the Per Encanto filly and the Capitalist Colt. So as Tony mentioned, please get in contact with us at sales@gollanracing.com.au and we will send you any information that you need. Get in quick, they will fill up quickly. Okay, let's start our preview with the Group 1 meeting at Flemington, where we will have Baller racing. The rail will be in the true position. The track is currently rated a good 4 with mostly fine conditions. He should have a pretty good surface on Saturday.
Yeah, it should be great down there, and we've drawn, which we'll get to in a minute, in the right part of the track. But no, the weather's good. I spoke to Alex this morning down there, and it's really warm. It's Queensland-like weather without the humidity, so he's settled in beautifully. Feels like he's at home. Yeah.
I think he loves travelling, this old horse. He is in race 7 at the Group 1 Black Caviar Lightning at weight for age over 1,000 metres. Back in 2012 he had Temple of Boom in this race. He did run 6th behind the great mare Black Caviar. Baller is in the race this year, 58.5 kilos, Mark Zara to ride, barrier 8. He's currently paying $15 to win and $3.60 for the place. He is first up for the prep and going really well, as highlighted by his trial win on Tuesday. He does love the Flemington Straight, winning the Group 2 Bobby Lewis in the spring, as well as 2/3 in the feature group races up to that.
Yeah, he does love the straight, and straight horses do tend to keep on racing well up the straight. It's a very strong Lightning. You can see this year, I guess with Nature Strip at the end of the spring, just not having that air of invincibility about him. That doesn't mean he's not going to have it in the autumn. He's an awfully talented sprinter, but I think with people maybe feeling at the end of that spring he's a bit vulnerable, it's a very quality race. A lot of these horses might have went to different races like Oakley Plates, etc., where now they're happy to kick off here in the Lightning. So it's a good quality Lightning. This horse, I couldn't be happy with his preparation. Claire, he's been as sharp as all prep, and I've always been mindful I was going to kick him off over the 1,000. We normally go the 1,200 with him, but this is a lovely lead into the Newmarket in 3 weeks' time. So I've kept him that little bit fresher in the legs. He did have a trial on Tuesday. I wanted to make sure I got the 2 trials into him before I sent him away. But you wouldn't know he's trialled at Flemington this morning. Alex said he was as bouncing, he was as fresh as, and he looks $1 million the horse. So I'm sure, even though it's a quality race, he'll be very competitive Saturday.
Yeah, he always tries hard, so.
He does, and I think for the first time then I've drawn the right part of the track for him.
Yeah.
He's normally drawn up the inside and have to try and make his way through there, where Mark's ridden him now obviously a couple of times and knows him well. I think from 8 there's really good speed in this year's Lightning. We'll be able to jump out and hopefully just travel. I just want to make sure that he can travel, so Mark will make sure he's travelling kind. I'll be back in the second half of the field and look to being very, very strong late. It's interesting in his trials he's been showing really good gate speed out. against lesser tier horses up here. I don't expect him to be doing that at Flemington, but I do expect him, how sharp he feels, to travel well even on that 1,000-metre speed and really let go late.
Okay, now let's have a look at our 8 runners for Saturday's Metro meeting at Eagle Farm. The rail will be in the 2-metre position. The track is currently rated a soft 5 with mostly fine days ahead. We've been having a good run at Eagle Farm lately with 4 winners at our past 2 meetings there.
Yeah, we have. The track's racing beautifully as well. I mean, it's been a little bit of a no-go zone on the fence, particularly as the day goes on. But the track's been racing terrific. They really got to get their toe into it now. It's a lot more like what I would call a normal turf track. Even though we still have the sand profile there, it is slightly different underfoot. I think most horses are letting their actions go on the track, and the races to me look a lot different, even visually watching the races, than what they did a year ago, and certainly prior to that. So the track's certainly going well, and our horses are racing well on it.
The first race we'll talk about is race 3, which is the Class 6 handicap over 1,400 metres. Rockamore runs 59.5 kilos. Jimmy Orman will ride, jumping from barrier 5. He's currently paying $2.50 to win and $1.45 for the place. He's won twice from 4 starts. This preparation was close last start in a blanket finish, coming down the inside over the 1,500 metres. Drop back to 1,400 metres probably helps in this.
I think it does. I think Senior Rider helps too. Ange just erred a touch there early in the race the other day, or I think he would have been right in the finish. He's a nice track and trip sort of horse. 400 Eagle Farm suits him. Good Senior Rider on board. Orman, he doesn't make many mistakes on horses these days. He's a very consistent rider. He'll put him up on the firing line. Looks as though he would control speed here, I would imagine. Him and Stuttering, they'll control the pace, and he'll get every chance. It'll just be a matter of whether we get off that inside section in the straight at all. But we've got a couple of races to work that out, just how close we want to be down on the inside. But there's no doubt he looks to get the right run in transit, and therefore you could imagine in this field he's in the finish. My only steadier is the 59.5.
Love Sensation is the second runner we have in this race. She'll carry at 53.5 kilos. Ben Thompson will ride her, barrier 4. She's currently paying $2.30 to win and $1.40 for the place. A bit of a winning drought for this mare, but she's now broken that and strung 2 good wins together over the 1,400 metres, up in class, but will get 6 kilos on her stablemate the way this race is handicapped.
Yeah, it's amazing what confidence does. This mare's been was running in really good races in Melbourne and getting beat. When we got her here mid-prep last year, I struggled to keep weight on her, and I struggled to find consistency with her. So we're able to give her a good break, bring her back. First up run was awful. And give her a terrible ride at Eagle Farm. She doesn't make many mistakes, and she's riding really well for her first year, but she made her awful blue on that horse. And then we had to really backpedal, and I just thought we'd get some confidence. I went to an average race on the Sunshine Coast Friday night. She won that, she won it well, and then she never looked like she was going to get beat the other day at that Saturday grade race there. It was still a low grade race, still a class 3, but she managed to win and win well. She gets the beautiful run here. She'll get right on the drop on Rockamore. And Stuttering, she'll find the second pair. She'll lovely relaxed run, and then she has that big pull in the weights. The pull in the weights, I think, is what's going to do the job for her. I think she's exceptionally hard to beat. I personally think we'll run 1-2 in the race, but I think Love Sensation might just have an edge on him just at the pull in the weights. But I did think that 2 starts ago with Tillianum, and Rockamore was able to hold her off, and she's come out and won then after that. So I think the form around Rockamore is very good, and when he's rolling and gives that good kick, he's a hard nut to get past. But my tip's going to be Love Sensation.
Okay, fair enough. Race 5 is the benchmark 72 handicap over the 1,810 metres. Coupe de Tenere will run in this 58 kilos. Kyle Wilson at Taylor will ride, and he will jump from barrier 4. Currently paying $7.50 to win and $2.20 for the place. He is second up on Saturday and out to the 1,800 metres. Was very one-paced over the mile. No surprise considering he needs 2,000 metres plus usually. Yeah,
he's probably sort of touched short for him, but it's the right grade for him. It's 1,800. He probably got caught down just in the wrong part of the track too late the other day. I think his run was better than it looked. He was good through the line. He'll be a big improver here at the 1,800, staying in this grade. He'll race on speed and will endeavour to find the right part of the track. He's a definite top 3 hope, but just not to his optimum distance yet.
Race 6 is the benchmark 72 handicap over the 1,400 metres. Comrade Rosa runs 58.5 kilos. Jimmy Orman rides barrier 5. She's currently the early favourite and paying $1.85. A good 2.5 length win last start at Eagle Farm over the 1,300 metres with a really big booming finish. Extends to the 1,400 metres here, which shouldn't pose an issue the way she ran through the line in her win. No, definitely not. She's in good order. She looks well. She feels well. There's a lack of tempo in this race, and the school of thought that it might be a bit hard because she's going to be midfield or maybe a touch worse. I don't think it's a problem at all. I think she can sprint very, very well off a slow speed.
I love the way she's relaxing in the run. She's just travelled, never give you 1 ounce of doubt the other day at Eagle Farm. She travelled comfortable. Admittedly, she got a beautiful run, a 3 wide, drag up, and just come off and one as she liked. I can't see why it won't be something similar here. On Saturday, she'll begin well with a different rider in tap. Got Orman on board other than Maloney.
Yeah.
I've mentioned him already in the show, Jimmy. He won't make any errors. Will be midfield, maybe a touch worse. It'll just be a matter of getting out and getting to the right part of the track when the sprint goes on in the straight. I think she's the right horse for the race, and I can't see why she wouldn't vindicate those short odds.
Okay. Race 7 is the Class 3 plate over the 1200 metres. We have 2 in this. We'll start with Zavaboom. He's being friendly at times, not right now. 57.5 kilos. Jimmy Orman will ride him from barrier 11. He's currently paying $4.20 to win and $1.75 for the place. He's placed second in 5 of his past 6 starts. He's been close a few times at breaking his duck over the 1200 metres too. The draw here will make it a little bit tough for him though.
Yeah, it will, but his pattern is to go back anyway and switch him off. He's a funny horse. I was spacing his runs at the 1000, and I probably had to go back to the 1200 with him, keep him on the bigger track. So I'm going to run even from the all-British draw. But Orman knows him well. He really wants to stay on him. Okay. He's always got that flashing red light, you know, back me next start sort of scenario.
And he runs second.
Well, this is the next start.
Yeah.
Am I going to be brave enough to put my hard-earned on him? Well, probably not. He's got so many tricks, the horse. But look, on his last run, he's certainly one of the top chances here. And Jimmy knows him well. He'll just get him to switch down. If he can improve up, then get to the outside of them, he can really run a race. You know he's going to run a good race.
Yeah.
It's just whether he's going to be able to beat something else in the race, not run second or third, but he's certainly going to be there.
Okay, fair enough. Argyle Pink is the second runner. She'll carry 55.5 kilos with Kyle Wilson-Taylor riding from barrier 9. She's currently paying $11 to win and $3.10 a place. She is first up for the preparation and did win fresh last prep over the 1200 metres but across the road. She has been jumping out quite well.
Yeah, she has. She had 3 jump outs of trials now. She's very forward. She went to the races the other day when that storm hit and didn't get to go around. It was right before her race, so they called them off at Doomben. She's in good order, this horse. She's been really trialling and working well. She's very fit. She's certainly come back a better horse this time round than what she did last time round. Yep. She's found a tough Class 3 plate to kick off in, but if I feel that she's going to be a Saturday grade mare at this time of the year, I think she's got to be competitive here. Yep. And I can't see why she wouldn't. She'll race a lot further forward of the speed than what Zavaboom will. She'll race somewhere midfield or handy, just off pace, I'd imagine. I think she'll give a really good side because she's very fit and very ready.
How are you going to split them?
I'm going to put Argyle Pink slightly on top of Zavaboom. I think she'll run very, very well.
Okay, any particular reason?
Oh, he's hard to trust. He's very hard to trust. He's got the ability, he's just hard to trust.
Can't say you're not being honest. Okay, race 9 is the cutest 3-year-old benchmark 72 handicap over the 1600 metres. We have 2 runners in this as well. Porky will carry 54 kilos with Ben Thompson on board, barrier 12. He's currently paying $6 to win and $2.30 for the place. A win in 2 close seconds at his past 3 starts. Last start was over the mile for the first time, and he did stick on really well when the winner just went past him at the furlong.
Racing really well. I desperately want to get a bit of cover with him on that Sunshine Coast, but he just jumped too well. And when after scratchings in the morning, all the speed come out of the race, and he was just left the sitting shot, and the horse that beat him at Ipswich, the Vows, just got him down again late, but he was pulling ground back off it again on the line. We made it the same sort of pulling the weights again, about 5 kilos with the senior rider on this time, Ben Thompson, who actually won on Porky at Eagle Farm when he won his maiden. So he likes the track. I think the trip we saw that the other day, not an issue at all. Yeah. From where we're drawn, hopefully we got an option for a few to go with the big field of 3-year-olds and just try and get in midfield or just forward to midfield a bit of cover. I think if we can switch him down for a bit of cover, sort of on pace or just off pace, I think he can run really, really well with horse. He's well weighted, very even bunch of 3-year-olds. I think you'd run this race 10 times, you'd possibly get 10 different winners. It'll really depend on what sort of runs horses get, but he's a real life chance here.
Okay, the second runner we have is Sunset Soiree. She'll carry 53.5 kilos. Kyle Wilson-Taylor will ride her from barrier 13. She's currently paying $9 to win and $3 the place. Great start to her career this prep with 2 wins and a third. Last start was over 1,300 metres when she did fly home from last at the 300 to win by nearly a length.
Yeah, she was good. I never envisaged I'd have her out to a mile, to be honest. And possibly if there was an option at 1,400, I would be there instead of a mile, only because of her breeding. Yeah. The way she's racing, she indicates she'd run it all day. She just relaxes so well. From the wide draw, we'll just go back and switch her off and then truck up and off we go. What I did notice at the 1,300 as opposed to those 1,200s, particularly when I ran her Ipswich on the speed track, she travels so much better. She actually touched the bridle in the run and travelled nicely. Then she never looked in doubt at the sunny coast. Now, this is a bigger field, routing trip. She gives herself every chance like she has been by the way she relaxes. I can't see why she wouldn't run a race. I think, like I said, very even bunch of 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
And I think both mine certainly have a chance in a very open race.
So you're just sitting on the fence with these two?
No, I'd go with Porky, probably Adam. I think I really like Sunset Soiree, but she's still definitely a preparation away.
Okay.
You know, and possibly a set of blinkers at a backing trip a little bit, but he's probably the same, to be perfectly honest. They're very similar horses. But I'll just stick with Porky just for the fact he's had that run over the mile. I was a little bit nervous going to the mile with him the other day, and he was good through the line. Because he's had the run over the mile, I'll probably put him just on top of her. But like I said, you could really throw a dart at quite a few horses in this race, and I certainly love the way that mine are down in the weights here.
Yep.
So I think that really suits them.
We are into the final furlong of this week's Final Gallop. Who do you think your best winning chance at Eagle Farm on Saturday is?
I'm going to go Comrade Rosa.
Okay.
I think she's my best chance. She's very short odds, but I think she'll vindicate that price for us.
Okay, your best each way chance?
My best each way chance would probably have to be Argyle Pink, I would imagine, at the big odds in the Class 3 in what is a very competitive race. But instead of doing that, I'm going to stay out of that one as well. I'm going to have a Quinella.
Okay.
A Rockamore Love Sensation Quinella.
Okay, so no, well, you've kind of got a best each way, but you've got a best Quinella as well.
Yeah, I think they'll run 1-2 in that race.
Fair enough. Okay, your best at the provincials over the next few days?
My best provincials over the next few days is San Lucido, new horse to the stable, in the maiden 1300 up the Sunshine Coast on Sunday. I think he come to us in good order from the Snowdens, and for a client I've had for some time, Ricky Thrace. I think he can win for us straight away.
And a couple to follow from the trials on Tuesday. We had a 38 or something going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice horses there in all different grades,
Yeah.
to be honest. I mean, we always focus on our better horses, I mean, they're the ones that are grabbing the headlines, but there was a lot of horses there that trialled well for the races that they're all sort of going for.
Yeah.
So it's a nice team of horses here at the moment. So I could put a few maidens out there if I wanted to, but we'll just focus on our better horses. There was nothing better there than Skirt the Law.
Yeah.
I think she's pretty exciting. She's probably the most exciting 2-year-old I've ever trained. That's obviously winning the Magic Millions. So
Yep.
she's the one. She's the one to follow. All the good horses trialled really well. None of them did anything other than what I expected. So we've had a great trial morning, but if I had to pick one out of the trials, it will certainly be Skirt the Law, and she's a filly I'm very excited to take to Sydney next week.
Absolutely. Your performance from the stable for the week?
Performance from the stable of the week goes to Jimmy Orman for his ride on Ashgrove.
Yeah.
It goes straight to him. If someone had said he'd be from where he drew one from the outside, if he'd be 3 pairs back the fence after they went 100 metres, I would have called BS. But that's what happened. So Jimmy Orman's my performance of the week. Fantastic ride, and just a young man riding so consistently well on a week in, week out basis.
Yeah.
He is definitely my tick.
He's got a really calm demeanour, and that probably helps him a lot.
It does. He's very dedicated, very disciplined guy with his weight. He's so tall. He's taller than me.
Yeah.
And he does a fantastic job. So all the jockeys that ride for us do bloody good jobs. And Ryan Maloney, he's riding brilliant too. The way his weight is, he's holding his own in Sydney at the moment in a very tough school of riders. But we talk about of the week. It's Jimmy Orman. He's my pick of the week.
Okay, fair enough. It is time for Cav's Corner, which is supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. No go with either leg of his multi last week. Maybe he had more success on Valentine's Day. Let's find out, and also what his multi is this week in Cav's Corner.
Welcome to Cav's Corner for this week. Last week, a very dry weekend on the All Up. Valentine's Day, got nothing. So she was a bad week. Anyway, we'll get to this week. We'll go Comrade Rosa at Eagle Farm, a win on Saturday. We'll go to Sunday, Sunshine Coast. We'll go Rubunka, a win. Good punting there, guys. Before I go, since it's Valentine's week, the Chief Financial Officer, Zoe Daly, has asked if she could put her selections through for the week for Valentine's. She's gone Love Sensation, well named, into hopefully an Argyle Pink, which is a diamond, and then finish off with a bit of Sunset Soiree. Good punting.
Well, he has let us know that he didn't have any success on Valentine's Day.
Who writes this
either.
script? Honestly, seriously.
But
Lockie's got a lot to answer for here.
But he has gone this week. Comrade Rosa a win into Rabunka a win. What are your thoughts on that multi?
Yeah, look, we've got to see where Rabunka draws. He's trialling really well. He's a new horse to our stable, obviously with someone else previously, and he's trialled up and jumped out well, and he's going really nicely, the horse. Can you trust him straight first day out? I'm not sure, but he's going bloody good. So I think Comrade Rosa will get the job done.
Okay, we have had another multi thrown in by the CFO for Valentine's Day, which is Zoe. She's gone for the Valentine's Day theme, going Love Sensation into Argyle Pink into Sunset Soiree. What are your thoughts on your sister's multi?
She's the Valentine's Day Grinch for starters, so I don't know. I don't know how she's even got into this, but she's obviously put a little bit of thought into it.
Just on their names alone.
Why not?
Why not?
Why
Have
not?
a go.
That's kind of weak, right?
It is.
So why not?
Okay. Anyway, good luck at Flemington on Saturday with Baller Tony, and hopefully a few winners back here at Eagle Farm.
Yeah, I can't wait to get down there to see the big fella and also have a good look at Zoo Style after I've travelled. So very busy month ahead, as we know.
Yes.
Don't forget those English Classic yearlings. There's only a few shares left, so really, if you do want them, jump in, because they do sell very quickly, these horses at the moment.
They do, yes.
But yeah, looking forward to a great weekend. So many winners, everyone.
Best of luck to everyone for the weekend.